Welcome to a very special, very quiet corner of our world. Normally, you see me with Leo, but today we are doing something different. I have walked up the hill, past the old oak trees, to visit our neighbor, Kaito. We are in his art studio today. Can you hear that? The wind is just hitting the chimes outside the window. It's the perfect day to learn.
Welcome, Maria. Please make yourself comfortable. I was just working on the light in this corner of the painting. It's a bit stubborn today.
Even artists have stubborn days. Kaito, I wanted to bring my students here because many of them feel like they are painting their English with only 2 or 3 colors. They say, "I like this," or "this is good," but they want to say more. They want to describe the world with the same detail you use in your paintings.
That is a beautiful way to put it, Maria. In my studio, I have hundreds of tubes of paint. Some are vibrant, some are muted. If I only used one blue, my sky would look flat. English is exactly the same. If you only use "I like," your conversation feels flat. Today, I want to show everyone how to add depth to their opinions.
Exactly. And friends, remember, we are not in a rush. We value slow living, and today we are practicing slow learning. If you are an A1 or A2 student, this is for you. You don't need to understand every single word immediately. Just listen to the conversation.
Taking your time is the secret to mastery. When I start a painting, I don't finish it in 5 minutes. I layer the colors, one layer, then another. Today, we are going to layer your vocabulary. We will start with simple ways to give an opinion, and by the end of the hour, you will be able to describe a complex feeling.
I love that, layering your language. Before we dive into section 1, I want everyone to look at the image on your screen. This is where Kaito works. Look at the jars of brushes, the mess of canvases, and the light coming through the window. How does it make you feel? In English, we might say it feels cozy or inspiring. Keep those words in your mind.
Maria, what are we focusing on first? I think my brushes are ready, but are the students ready?
They are ready. Here is our plan for this 20-minute journey. First, we are going to move beyond "I think." We will learn 5 natural phrases that native speakers use to start a sentence. Second, Kaito is going to teach us the vocabulary of mood. We will learn how to describe things that are vibrant, muted, peaceful, or melancholic. And finally, we have a creative challenge. I am going to try to describe Kaito's new painting using only the words we learned today.
It sounds like a full afternoon. I hope everyone has their tea ready. I have mine. It's a bit hot, so I will let it cool while we start with our first lesson.
Perfect. Put your phone on Do Not Disturb, grab your notebook, and let's enter section 1, the opinion palette. Kaito, let's start with a question. If I say, "I think your studio is beautiful," it's a correct sentence, but it sounds a bit basic, doesn't it?
It is correct, yes. But as an artist, I like to use words that show how I am thinking. For example, instead of "I think," I often say, "in my experience." This tells the person that I am speaking from my own life, not just a fact.
In my experience. That's beautiful. Let's look at why that changes the flavor of the sentence. All right, Kaito. We are sitting here in your beautiful studio, and I want to start with a very common problem. My students often start every single sentence with, I think. I think this painting is good. I think the weather is nice. I think English is hard. It's not wrong, but it feels a bit repetitive, like using only one brush for a whole painting.
Exactly. If I use a giant brush for small details, the painting looks messy. If I use a tiny brush for the sky, it takes forever. In English, your opening phrase sets the mood for the whole sentence.
So, let's give them their first new color. What is a phrase you use when you want to be a bit more personal?
I love the phrase, in my experience. For example, if you ask me if oil painting is difficult, I wouldn't say, I think it is difficult. I would say, in my experience, oil painting requires a lot of patience.
Oh, I see the difference. I think sounds like a cold fact, but in my experience tells the listener that you have tried it. You are sharing a piece of your life.
Exactly. It invites the other person to listen to your story, not just your opinion. It's a very gentle way to start a conversation.
That's perfect. Now, what about when we want to say something that might be a little surprising, or maybe even a little negative?
Then we use, to be honest. This is a very popular one in the Ghibli world because we value sincerity. If you ask me, Kaito, do you like this bright red color, and I don't really like it, I would say, to be honest, I prefer the softer blues.
To be honest, it's like opening a window and letting in some fresh air. It tells the listener, I am being truthful with you. But be careful, students, we don't use this for every sentence, or people will think you were lying before.
Very true. Another one I use while I'm looking at a half-finished painting is, it seems to me that.
It seems to me. That sounds very thoughtful, very philosophical.
It is. It's less aggressive than I think. If I say, the sky is too dark, it sounds like a rule. But if I say, it seems to me that the sky is a bit too dark, it leaves room for your opinion too. It's like a soft shadow in a drawing. It's there, but it's not hitting you.
I love that. It's a very polite way to share a thought without sounding like a boss. It seems to me that we should take a break soon, for example.
Not yet, Maria. We have two more. My next favorite is, if you ask me. This is a great one when someone hasn't asked for your opinion yet, but you want to give it anyway.
Leo uses this one all the time.
It's a very neighborly phrase. If you ask me, the best time to see the hills is at 5 p.m. It's friendly, it's casual, and it shows you are confident in what you know.
And for our final color in the palette, let's give them something a bit more professional, something for a meeting or a serious discussion.
For that, we use, I'm of the opinion that. This is a very sturdy phrase. It's like a strong wooden frame for a canvas. I'm of the opinion that art should be accessible to everyone.
Oh, that sounds very advanced. I am of the opinion that. It sounds like you have thought about this for a long time. It's very strong. Okay, students, let's look at our palette. We have 5 new ways to start a sentence. In my experience, personal, to be honest, sincere or truthful, it seems to me that, soft or thoughtful, if you ask me, friendly or confident, I'm of the opinion that, professional or strong.
Carta Maria, I have a challenge for the students listening. Look at the painting on the screen. Pick one of these 5 phrases and write a sentence about the painting in the comments.
That's a great idea. Use the phrases we just learned. For example, to be honest, I love the golden light in the window, or it seems to me that Kaito is a very patient artist.
I can't wait to read them. But now, my tea is finally at the perfect temperature. Shall we move on to Section 2 and talk about the mood of words?
Absolutely. Let's talk about colors, but not just the ones on your palette.
Kaito, your tea smells amazing. Is that jasmine?
It is. It's a very muted smell. It isn't strong like coffee. It's soft, like a gray sky. And that is actually what I want to talk about next, the mood of our vocabulary.
The mood of words. I love that. Students, in English, we often use the same words for colors that we use for our feelings. Kaito, when you look at a painting, what is the first thing you notice about the energy?
I look for vibrant colors. Vibrant means full of life, energy, and brightness. Think of a bright sunflower or a neon sign in a city.
So if I am feeling very happy and full of energy, can I say I feel vibrant?
Exactly. Or if you go to a party where everyone is dancing and the music is loud, you can say, the atmosphere is so vibrant. It's a loud word. It's a high-energy word.
But your studio doesn't feel vibrant today, Kaito. It feels the opposite. What is that word again?
That is muted. In art, a muted color is a color that has a little bit of gray or brown in it. It isn't bright, it's soft. A rainy day has muted colors.
Oh, I see. So if I want to have a quiet evening at home with a book, I'm looking for a muted atmosphere. It's the slow living word, isn't it?
It is. When you are tired and you want peace, you don't want vibrant lights, you want muted tones. It's a very elegant way to describe something that is calm and sophisticated.
That leads us perfectly to our next word, which everyone probably knows, but we should use it more deeply. Peaceful.
To me, peaceful isn't just quiet. It's a feeling in your heart. Look at the window in my studio. The clouds are moving so slowly. That is peaceful. It means there is no stress, no hurry, and no noise.
I often tell my students that their study space should be peaceful. If your desk is messy and your phone is ringing, you cannot be peaceful.
True. In my experience, you cannot paint a beautiful sky if your mind isn't peaceful.
Now, Kaito, sometimes your paintings aren't happy. Sometimes they look a little lonely, but it's a beautiful kind of lonely. Is there a word for that?
Ah, you are talking about melancholic. This is a very important word for artists. Melancholic is a sweet sadness. It's the feeling you get when autumn starts and the leaves fall. You're a little sad that summer is over, but you think the falling leaves are beautiful.
Melancholic. That is such a sophisticated word for an A2 student to use. Instead of saying, I am sad, they can say, the music is a bit melancholic.
Exactly. It shows that you understand that emotions can be complex. You can be sad and inspired at the same time.
And finally, we have the word that brought me here today, inspiring.
Inspiring is the spark. It's the feeling that makes you want to do something. When I see a beautiful forest, it is inspiring because I want to pick up my brush and paint it.
And for you students, I hope this conversation is inspiring. I hope it makes you want to open your notebook and write. If something gives you a new idea or makes you want to improve, it is inspiring.
Let's recap our mood palette before we continue. Vibrant, bright, and full of energy, like a sunlit meadow. Muted, soft, and calm, like the shadows in this room. Peaceful, quiet, and stress-free, like our tea time. Melancholic, a beautiful, thoughtful sadness, like a rainy afternoon. Inspiring, giving you new ideas and energy, like a great teacher.
I have another challenge. Look at the studio image again. Which of these 5 words describes this room the best for you?
To be honest, Maria, I think it's peaceful. But if I start painting a big storm, it might become vibrant.
I agree. To me, this studio is inspiring. I want to go home and write a story now. But we have more to learn.
We do. In Section 3, we're going to talk about something difficult. What happens when I paint something and you don't like it?
Oh, the gentle disagreement. That is very important to staying friends. Let's move to Section 3.
Kaito, I was looking at that painting in the corner, the one with the dark purple clouds. To be honest, I'm not sure I like the color you used for the trees. It feels a bit heavy.
You see, Maria is doing something very important. She is telling me her opinion, but she is being careful with her words. If she just said, "I hate that painting," or "that is bad," our peaceful afternoon would be over.
Exactly. And students, this is the gentle disagreement. In English, we rarely say "you are wrong" or "I don't like that" directly to a friend. We use softener phrases to keep the conversation peaceful.
In my studio, if a critic comes to look at my work, I listen for these phrases. Let's look at our first softener. This is the best way to start. I see what you mean. It shows that you are listening. Even if you don't agree, you are acknowledging the other person's thoughts.
So I could say, Kaito, I see what you mean about the purple clouds, but I think the green trees would look more natural.
Exactly. You see my idea, but you have a different one. It's a bridge between two people.
What if someone says something that you really don't think is true? Like if Leo says, Kaito is the best singer in the village.
Then you should definitely use, "I'm not so sure about that." This is a very polite way to say no. It sounds much better than saying, "That's not true."
I'm not so sure about that. It's like a little doubt. It's a very safe phrase to use when you want to disagree, but you don't want to start an argument.
Another artistic phrase is, "I see it a bit differently." Since art is about seeing, we use this to show that everyone has their own perspective.
I see it a bit differently. I use this when we are talking about books. If Kaito thinks a book is melancholy and I think it is just sad, I can say, actually, I see it a bit differently. It's not about who is right. It's about two different views.
This one is a bit more formal. That's a good point, however. It's like the professional choice from Section 1.
Yes, however is a great word for A2 students to learn. It's a smart version of the word but.
You used a lot of blue here. That's a good point. However, I wanted the sky to feel very cold. It shows respect for the opinion before you give your own reason.
And finally, for when you really need to be clear but still very polite, we use, I'm afraid I disagree.
This one sounds very British or very formal. When we say, I'm afraid, we don't mean we're scared. We mean, I'm sorry to say this, but...
Exactly. I'm afraid I disagree with the price of this painting, Kaito. It's too expensive.
Well, for you, Maria, I might give a discount.
Let's review our gentle tools. I see what you mean, but, the bridge. I'm not so sure about that, the polite no. I see it a bit differently, the perspective shift. That's a good point, however, the professional contrast. I'm afraid I disagree, the formal sincerity.
I have a question for the students. If I said the best color in the world is yellow, how would you disagree with me using one of these phrases?
Oh, that's a tough one. Students, write your gentle disagreement in the comments. Be kind to Kaito. He's very sensitive about his colors.
I am, but I'm also ready for our final section. Maria, are you ready for the creative challenge?
I'm a little nervous, but I'm ready. I have my notebook, my tea is finished, and I'm ready to use all these new colors to describe your secret painting.
Then let's turn the canvas around.
All right, Maria. The tea is finished, the sun is starting to set, and it's time for the final test. I am going to turn this canvas around. I want you and everyone watching to look at it for 10 seconds in silence. Then, I want you to describe it using our new palette.
I'm ready. Students, look at the screen. Look at the colors, the light, and the feeling. Oh, Kaito, this is so bright and cheerful. It's a beautiful summer day in the hills.
It is. I wanted to capture the feeling of a fresh morning. Now, Maria, use your new words. How does it start?
Well, it seems to me that the focus of this painting is the contrast between the deep green bushes and the bright blue sky. In my experience, it is very difficult to paint clouds that look that soft and fluffy. They look like white cotton.
Good. It seems to me, and in my experience, you are noticing the textures. Now, what about the mood?
Unlike your other work, this is very vibrant. The green of the bushes is so full of life, and the little pops of color from the flowers make the whole image feel inspiring. It makes me want to go for a walk.
And the sky? Does it feel melancholic like the rain?
To be honest, no. It feels completely peaceful. There is no sadness here. It is a muted kind of peace, not loud, just calm and steady.
Now, tell me something you would change. Look at the flowers in the foreground.
I see what you mean with the small red flowers. However, I feel like they are a bit hidden by the grass. I'm not so sure about the placement of that one yellow flower in the corner. I see it a bit differently. I think if you added a few more vibrant wildflowers, it would be even more beautiful.
You are right. A few more flowers would make it pop. You have a good eye for detail, Maria.
Now it's your turn, students. We have been together for almost 20 minutes.
We want you to be the artist now. Look at the painting of the sky and the green bushes on your screen. Write a creative paragraph in the comments.
For example, in my experience, the clouds look very peaceful. To be honest, I think the green bushes are vibrant and the flowers make the scene very inspiring.
Maria, thank you for visiting me today. I think I'll go add those extra flowers you suggested.
Thank you, Kaito, and thank you to everyone who stayed for the full 20 minutes.
Don't forget to download the artist's cheat sheet in the description.
Keep practicing, and we will see you in the next lesson. Goodbye.
Goodbye, everyone.